Yeah, so I'm home now. I did decide that I'm gonna read you guys a little bit. I'm actually gonna start on Instagram. I'm gonna go through my Instagram stories and posts from today, and I'm gonna read you guys some of the commentary that I made. So this is the one of the tweets also that I saw even before I saw Boodle, the poodles. You guys see that? Okay, there. So it says like a white man went on a killing spree, and you want to talk about what black people can do, how black people could be strong allies to Asian. Like motherfuckers thought, wow, white person killed some Asians, niggas. What can the niggas do? You guys know that the number one interracial fucking relationship, the number one interracial relationship in the United States is white men and Asian women. You guys know that, right? I've been seeing a lot of like false numbers and statistics and shit floating around about interracial relationships and marriages and stuff. No, the number one interracial relationship in the United States is fucking Asian women and white men. So a white man going and killing a bunch of Asian women, but the first thing y'all say is, what can black people do? Go talk to Brad. You're not gonna talk to Brad though. You don't want to talk to Brad. You want to talk to some niggas, pinning on some niggas. So I put this on Instagram. White man kills Asian women. Here's what black people can do. Anti-blackness is a hell of a drug. My name is Emmett and I'm not in it. And somebody replied to me, this just further proves that the only time they are willing to call us by our names is to chastise or make us political mules. Because I also have been posting on Instagram about how they won't call us black, which I've done several videos on. I've written essays on, articles. Of course, I will include links to all this stuff in the description box. I've been saying for a long time, like, stop with the POC. Don't call me a POC. I'm black. I have black people problems. My issue is anti-blackness. And yet anytime anything is done that could benefit black people, or anytime something good happens that involves a black person, they never say black. They say POC, they say people of color, women of color, men of color. They never say black. Last week, there was an announcement of the cancellation of the pig for debt, which is something that's going to directly impact black farmers, and it's something that black farmers have been pushing for decades. This basically unlawful debt that's been put on black farmers by the USDA. If you want to know more about, I should do a fucking black farm and like land sovereignty video, but it would be like 3 hours long. But I will include some information in the description box for people that want to know more about land sovereignty and black farming and debt and the USDA and racist farm practices. This is exactly why I'm not behind the Green New Deal. Fuck AOC while we're here. Fuck her. Anti-black racist. Against reparations for black Americans. Got my own YouTube, bitch. Anyways, when they announced that the pig for debt was being erased and that the black farmers were going to be receiving money, all of the headlines said farmers of color, farmers of color, farmers of color. And I was like, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Anytime it's something like good or positive, they never want to say black. Black is really associated with negativity. But anytime they want to chastise us, oh, black voters better come out and vote, they say black. When they want to say, how black people could be strong allies to Asian Americans right now, not POC. All of a sudden, we're not POC anymore. All of a sudden, motherfuckers know the difference between blacks and Asians when they want to chastise us. And it even says here, this person that responded to me used this phrase, muling. Just further proves the only time they're willing to call us by our names is to chastise or make us political mules. And I put, because they damn sure didn't say, here's what POC can do to help Asians. They say black with their whole chest when they need something from the niggas. And then this was so that's this commentary right here. Can you guys see it? Hopefully you can. I know it's like a little bit hard. And then this was from last week, March 11th. Like, dead ass when it's time to chastise us, the black American community. When it's time to honor or help people of color. Black people have nothing to do with this. Asians, fight your battle, and rightfully so, without dragging us into it. This is hardcore anti-blackness. Like, it's real sick and disturbing how other groups cannot fight for liberation without throwing blacks under the bus. There still has not been any accountability for the systemic disenfranchisement, racism, murder, and oppression of black Americans by Asian Americans as a collective. Like Latasha Harlins, like Akai Gurley. Just a few years ago, they had Asians that was beating up black women in nail salons and beauty supply stores. And wasn't let's talk about anti-black sentiment in the Asian community. There was nothing like that. Like, The Korean woman that killed Latasha Harlins, like I said previously, like, she didn't even go to jail, nothing. Like, there has still, let me read it again. There has still not been any accountability for the systemic disenfranchisement, racism, murder, and oppression of Black Americans by Asian Americans as a collective. Until that happens, keep Black Americans' name out your mouth. And then Bloodle's exact tweet. There has to be a name for this phenomenon that non-Black communities who are regularly anti-Black then consistently call upon Black Americans' hypervisibility to aid their movements for them later. And again, I feel like this is called muling, political muling. And even a few years ago, actually, let me not say a few years ago, 6 years ago, there was a hashtag for this as well. It was hashtag not your mule. I did do a video on it. I will include links in the description box to it. We had to have a whole conversation about this 6 years ago with the non-Black persons of color to stop asking Black Americans to mule for them. Here we are again. No, Black people actually can't put you on our backs and carry you to the promised land. Sorry, non-Black persons of color. Like, is it Groundhog Day? Because, like, I really feel like I am in a time loop. So somebody also said, leave niggas out of the BS. How did they get to let's talk to niggas instead of talking to the whites or talking about white male rage? How did this become the responsibility of Black people? Here's my video on white male rage, which I will include. Also, the belief that it's Black Americans' job to do everything for everybody is muling. This is directly related to the idea of Black Americans as slaves of the diaspora in the world. Hashtag not your mule. And I'm just going to read you guys some of my commentary on Discord. I feel like this falls under anti-Blackness. I feel like a lot of things are anti-Blackness, but they are labeled as just racism or white supremacy. I myself have even been guilty of this. It's very confusing because this is how you get people like Asians or non-Black Latinos or even white Jews that have been oppressed under white supremacy, white power, racial purity, white power structures. Yet they still benefit from anti-Blackness specifically, and they engage in systemic anti-Black oppression specifically. We have to be more specific. I feel like in at least the last 3 videos, I have literally screamed, the problem is anti-Blackness. Like, the problem is not just racism or white supremacy. Anti-Blackness and anti-Black Americanness specifically is like the unspoken issue. Asians, for example, are absolutely still oppressed under white supremacy, yet they still have systemic power over Black people because of anti-Blackness. Foreign Blacks are absolutely still oppressed under white supremacy and anti-Blackness, yet they have systemic power over Black Americans because of anti-Black American sentiment specifically. It's levels to this. People are keeping it really flat. White Jews are oppressed under white racial purity. Jews will not replace us. Yet they still wield systemic power as white people that are not Black. Like, the core of all this shit is we hate niggas. Our hatred of niggas is the litmus test for all other hate. And we hate American niggas worst of all. And this idea of Black Americans still gotta do everything for everybody, even though everybody fucking hates us, I would say that element of it falls under muling, which is a term that's been going around for years as well. The idea that Black Americans are the mules, i.e. the slaves of the world, and it is our job to put everyone on our back and carry them to the promised land. Even people that have engaged in anti-Blackness towards us, people of all races, it's still our job because we are supposed to be the mules of the world and the diaspora. This belief that it's Black Americans' job to do everything for everybody. We even had a hashtag, not your mule, about this. And then I finished off with, I feel like muling or political mules is generally the term we tend to use for this. And also, they damn sure are saying, what could Black people do for Asians and not what can POC do for Asians, because they only say Black if it's something negative. Why? Because the problem is anti-Blackness.